What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in. We're going to jump right into today's video, and that's going to be on you are protected and cared for even when you don't think you are. God has everything laid out in front of you and you don't even realize it. And I want to talk about something that I struggle with, that a lot of people struggle with almost on a daily basis. And these are things I've struggled with for many years. And that's worry and control. You see, worry and control, those are very tightly linked. Those are hand in hand with each other. I think it's really funny how Jesus talks about do not worry, right? There's a lot of things that Jesus tells us that we should do. He tells us do not worry, right? And he goes into why, and he makes an illustration for us, and he tells us these things. But how often do we find ourselves worrying about things, especially things that we can't control? And guys, this is the secret, right? In many ways, the secret is you have to let go. You have to let go. Guys, I struggle with this on a daily basis. I have to always control my surroundings. I always have to be in control. I always want to know the numbers. I want to see the bird's eye view. I want to have my hands in everything, right? I want to be able to control my every move, right? When people tell me that I have to be somewhere at a certain time, or I have to do this or do that, I don't like it, right? I want to be in control of essentially everything. And this is damaging, right? Extremely damaging, because you have to learn to let go. This doesn't mean be complacent. This doesn't mean just be a mindless drone or a slave, right? This means you have to be cognizant of your surroundings and understand that God's in control of everything. He's in control of what you are not in control of. And this is a paradox. A lot of people don't understand this. They don't really realize this. They don't really see the truth in this. But you won't really understand it until those hard times hit, right? And for me, I'm very hard-headed, I'm very stubborn, and the Lord is very merciful and gracious and patient with me. And he shows me that I can't do things in life without his hand in it. Every time I do things by my own strength, by my own will, it falls apart. It doesn't endure. You know how these days everybody tells you that you should grind, you should work hard, you should do things to the best of your ability, right? These aren't necessarily bad things, but we live in a society, especially today, where if you are not constantly grinding and constantly just stringing yourself out, then you're failing, you're falling behind, you're going to miss out. And guys, the sad reality is most of this is based off of fear, all right? Worry and control, right? The fear of not being able to control, the fear of what's gonna happen, right? The worry. And the biggest issue that I believe most people face these days isn't necessarily what they can control, it's what they can't control. You see, a lot of us think that our situation, our problems are too big to handle. We think that they're insurmountable. And this is amplified by the fact we live in a world where we have a quick fix, or we have an instant pleasure from anything, right? It's very easy to live a very comfortable life these days. If you have a little bit of money, you can buy some drugs, you can buy some alcohol, you can buy some fast food, you can buy things to comfort yourself, you can buy things to give you this sense of euphoria and peace and stability. And more people are becoming hooked to these things because they provide a temporary escape from reality or from the problems, right? But guys, the most damaging thing you can do is worry. Most damaging thing you can do, because this will spiral, right? This is why I believe a lot of men are hooked on pornography. It's not necessarily that they're hooked to sex or they're hooked to the feeling of sex, right? Although that can be part of it. It's the control, right? They feel like their life is out of control, and instead of dealing with what's in front of them, it's easier to choose the quick fix because it's a control thing. And it's also a worry thing because they worry they're never going to be good enough. They're never going to find someone good enough for them or vice versa. And you see these things go hand in hand. It's a spiral. But I'm also not saying that if you grind hard, that if you get to where you want to be, that if you achieve all these things you want, they're going to be happy either. Because you're going to reach a place, maybe financially, maybe physically, maybe emotionally, mentally, whatever. You're going to reach this place and it's still not going to be enough, right? There's always going to be something more that you want to add to it that you think is going to make it better. Again, you're going to want to control, and you're going to worry that you don't have enough, that you're not quite there. The trick is, guys, the trick is to be content in all circumstances. Bottom line up front, right? You have to be content with your circumstances, no matter how great, no matter how minute, no matter how stressful, right? And I'm talking about this because recently, currently in my life, things are very chaotic. They change by the day, almost by the hour. And it's been like that for over a week now. In some ways, weeks, months, right? Everything changes. And for me, it's been a huge eye-opener, right? I believe that God has me exactly where he wants me to be. And the funny thing is, if I wasn't in this situation, which just a few days ago I was super stressed out about, I wouldn't have come to realize that he has it all under control. It's not for me to worry about. I'm supposed to do my best in these circumstances. I'm supposed to do the best I can to be a light, to share his joy, his love, his patience, right? The Lord is very good to those who listen to him, right? Who cry out to him, who ask him for wisdom. And we tend to look for our peace in the wrong things, right? Or maybe even in the right things. We tend to want to find our hope and our stability, our foundation in maybe our wife, our spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, our family, our friends, our good times we have going out, our financial stability, right? But all these things can be taken away from you like that. And then what are you left with? So you have to have a mindset, you have to have the renewing of your mind to be able to see that no matter what happens, God's hand is in it. And he's going to provide. He's going to care for you. He's going to be there for you. He's going to walk you through every step of the way, guys. He's not going to just like forget about you or turn his back or go, I don't think I can do this. He's going to be with you every step of the way. And I can say that because he's been there for every step in my life. And sometimes, again, when life gets really stressful, I tend to, retreat into myself and try to control things and complain and worry and hope that, me doing certain things can affect the outcome. But I think if we had the mindset that no matter what circumstance we find ourselves in, that God is there no matter what, right? He's watching over you, right? It's not like by chance or by circumstance that you're in this current situation. If you're watching this video, you're probably going through some things, or maybe you have been through some things. And guess what? You probably will go through some things, right? So it's good to keep these things in mind, because when the Lord revealed these things to me, when God was gracious enough to reveal these things to me, it's been very peaceful the last couple days, right? Do I still have stressful moments? Sure. Do things sometimes seem very frustrating and like I can't control them? And I have these sneaking, thoughts in my head of, just complain a little bit more. Just feed that, that worry, that anxiety. Of course, absolutely. But the peace of God surpasses all understanding. It's almost like you're gliding. Guys, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you're gliding. It's like everything is just easy. Even though things are stressful, even though things are tiresome, wearisome, and you don't know what tomorrow holds, you know that God's in control. You know that God's with you no matter what. So it doesn't matter. So I just want to leave that with you guys, because I know there's some people out there struggling. I know there's a lot of people who are in a tough situation, guys. I've been in plenty of tough situations, and I want to end the video with this. We tend to ask God for wisdom. We tend to ask God for understanding, for patience, to have our eyes open, to have more faith, right? And we think, that it's just as easy as a snap of the fingers. We pray to God like he's a genie. And the beautiful thing is, God doesn't normally work like that, right? He can work however he wants. Sometimes he will give you that wisdom. He'll just give it to you. But most of the time, he will put you in circumstances where your faith will be increased, because then you look to him, because then you are going after him, because you have to rely on him, because you realize you can't do it by your own strength, by your own understanding. Same thing with patience. You ask for patience, you might not become more patient. You're going to be put in stressful situations where you're tested, where your actual mind is pushed to the limits, and your emotions and everything's just crazy. And then you realize God's there. Just cry out to him. He will guide you through. He will give you the peace. He'll give you eyes to see. He'll give you a still heart, right? So meditate on these things, guys, because they're going to be nourishment to your soul, to your bones, right? You'll have a peace, again, that surpasses all understanding. So guys, let me know what you guys think. Let me know of any situations you're in. Let me know if you need anything at all, and I'll see y'all at the next one.